Imagine a world where private jets aren't just for convenience, they're a lifeline. One tech billionaire bought a $60 million plane for his spouse, but that's only scratching the surface. From secretly extending airport runways to traveling with security that rivals a head of state, these CEOs move through the skies like nothing ordinary. Every route they take, every flight they board, hints at a life where the stakes are higher than traffic jams or long lines. What we uncovered about how the richest people on Earth actually travel is both astonishing and unsettling. This isn't just about luxury, it's about navigating a world where survival comes first. Jeff Bezos, beyond Earth and ocean. Jeff Bezos began traveling in ways that seemed almost unreal, even by billionaire standards. And the change happened quietly as his empire expanded. At first, he relied on a single Gulf Stream for his business trips, handling cross-country flights with ease. But as his schedule grew more intense, he upgraded to something far more extraordinary, the Gulfstream G700. This jet carries a price tag of around $75 million and can cover 7,500 nautical miles non-stop. It cruises near Mach 0.925, turning the globe into a smaller, more navigable space for him. Inside, the aircraft resembles a floating luxury home. There's a full bedroom, a private shower, and such comfort that a 10-hour flight can feel like a quiet morning at home. This newest addition joined his older jets, bringing the total value of his private fleet close to $140 million. With it, Bezos can move effortlessly between Seattle, Miami, and Maui, bypassing lines, crowds, and delays, simply stepping aboard and taking off. Maui became one of his most cherished retreats. Owning a massive estate there, Bezos gradually became a part-time resident. While most people save for years to afford a Hawaiian vacation, Bezos can arrive almost instantly, traveling without hassles or long waits. Yet, his trips didn't go unnoticed. In just over a month, his jet was estimated to generate 264 tons of carbon dioxide during repeated flights to Maui, roughly 17 times what an average American produces in an entire year. Flying nearly daily, the pace drew criticism from environmental advocates until Bezos clarified that he pays for carbon offsets on personal travel. Still, it highlighted the extreme freedom that comes with unlimited mobility, but the skies were just one piece of his world. In 2023, Bezos unveiled Koru, a 417-foot superyacht reportedly costing around $500 million to build. The vessel is magnificent, featuring 3 towering masts, multiple decks, a pool, lounges, and seemingly endless open space. Koru also has a support ship called Abiona, equipped with a helipad for helicopter transfers between yacht and shore. Bezos and his fiancée, Lauren Sanchez, quickly took to the yacht. In May 2023, they were spotted near Mallorca, where Bezos proposed. Then in June 2025, Koru appeared off Croatia ahead of their reported wedding, with helicopters lifting them to Venice, essentially a sea-based version of his private jets, offering total privacy and mobility. And then there was space. In July 2021, Bezos boarded the Blue Origin New Shepard rocket and journeyed to the edge of space for roughly 10 minutes. It was enough to witness Earth's curvature below him and claim the title of the first major CEO to travel to space for leisure. He later admitted the only downside was that the trip ended too quickly. For Bezos, even the sky no longer feels like a limit. Larry Ellison, master of his own island. Larry Ellison always understood that the world didn't have to follow the usual rules. If he wanted something, he simply built it. If he needed space, he bought it. In 2012, when he acquired 98% of Lanai for roughly $300 million, he transformed the very idea of billionaire travel. No more hotels, no more exclusive resorts. Ellison could simply fly home to his private Hawaiian island. Lanai became his sanctuary, his playground, and at times, even his office. He stocked a Four Seasons for guests, maintained a quiet upcountry ranch for peaceful evenings, and kept long stretches of untouched coastline entirely to himself. Friends knew they could come anytime, but the island was unmistakably his. Accessibility was still a challenge, however. Lanai is remote, and even private travel has limits. Ellison solved that too. He launched Lanai Air, a luxury charter service flying directly from Honolulu to the island. Later, he expanded the local airport. In 2022, he personally funded a 500-foot runway extension. That upgrade quietly changed everything. Larger private jets could now land without stopping, including his Gulfstream G650 and planes carrying guests like Bill Gates or Oprah Winfrey. In effect, he reshaped the island's infrastructure to match his own lifestyle, ensuring travel to paradise was seamless for anyone in his circle. Ellison's passion for flying is evident everywhere. He owns at least 2 Gulfstreams, including the G650, and rumors suggest he even keeps retired military jets for fun. Public flight logs show his jet, tail number N817GS, making repeated trips to Lanai. On one journey, it flew roughly 4,800 miles and consumed 4,275 gallons of fuel. For most, that would seem shocking. For Ellison, with a fortune exceeding $100 billion, it is barely a consideration. He has been a licensed pilot for years and often prefers to fly smaller planes or helicopters himself. Then there's the sea. Ellison commissioned a yacht so grand it felt like a floating palace. Rising Sun stretched 454 feet, had 82 rooms, and even featured a basketball court on deck. Built in 2004 at a cost of around $200 million, it sailed from Hawaii to Croatia, stopping at events like the Cannes Film Festival, where Ellison hosted unforgettable gatherings. It had jacuzzis, a wine cellar, a private cinema, and every luxury imaginable. Eventually, he sold Rising Sun to David Geffen and built a smaller, more refined yacht, Musashi, at roughly 288 feet. Still enormous, but elegant and understated. Lanai ultimately became his true home. By 2020, after stepping back from daily operations at Oracle, Ellison settled on the island full-time. Life slowed down, though he still hopped into his Gulfstream to attend board meetings in Texas or Formula One races in Europe. Friends visited regularly. Tom Cruise, for instance, flew his own Gulfstream 4 to drop by, effortlessly landing thanks to that extended runway. On Lanai, you might spot Ellison in an SUV with guests, riding along the coastline or heading upcountry to watch the sunset. Paparazzi rarely appear. The island remains under his near-total control. Bernard Arnault, luxury, secrecy, and the skies. Bernard Arnault navigates the world in a way few can imagine, even at the pinnacle of global wealth. As the chairman of LVMH, he frequently traveled in a Bombardier Global 7500, a private jet valued at around $73 million, capable of flying 7,700 nautical miles without stopping. It ranks among the longest-range private jets ever built. The cabin resembles a high-end penthouse and can be divided into 4 distinct living areas. There is a formal dining room, a luxurious stateroom, and a private shower. Operating such an aircraft typically costs between $2 to $3 million annually, and chartering it can reach roughly $10,000 to $11,000 per hour. None of these expenses seem to faze Arnault. What did concern him, however, was the growing online scrutiny tracking every movement of his jet. In 2022, Arnault became aware that social media accounts were broadcasting his flights in real time. One popular account tracked nearly all his trips, whether it was Paris to New York or visits to a shoe factory in Italy. The constant attention prompted a decisive move. Arnault sold the jet. Soon after, observers noticed the plane was deregistered in France and disappeared from public flight logs. Arnault later confirmed the decision. Instead of owning a jet outright, he now rents private aircraft as needed, ensuring no tail numbers could be traced back to him. His son explained that private aviation remains crucial for their operations, allowing them to move quickly, stay ahead of competitors, and maintain discretion about their destinations. Despite this shift, nothing about Arnault's lifestyle is subtle. The Global 7500 he once flew was among the most luxurious jets ever built. Reports suggest he flew it at least once per month, often more. The jet included a full-size galley, an ensuite bedroom, and enough cabin space to accommodate top executives on extended flights. When he transitioned away from ownership, he didn't downgrade to commercial first class. Instead, he switched to chartered jets, maintaining the same level of luxury while adding a layer of secrecy. Renting a jet of this caliber regularly can run into hundreds of thousands of dollars monthly. Yet, for a man overseeing brands with $50,000 handbags and $1,500 champagne bottles, such costs are negligible. Environmental advocates suggested that scrutiny over carbon emissions likely influenced his decision to sell the plane. That year, Arnaud's net worth hovered around $133 billion, a clear reminder that financial limitation was never a concern. Even with increased discretion, his lifestyle remains a showcase of extreme wealth, where luxury, efficiency, and secrecy converge seamlessly above the clouds. Elon Musk, life at supersonic speed. Elon Musk navigates the world in a way that almost seems unbelievable. Take his schedule in 2018 as an example. In just that 1 year, his Gulfstream G650ER logged over 150,000 miles, enough to circle the Earth more than 6 times. And this wasn't just a handful of long-haul trips. Flight records reveal that he completed more than 250 flights in 12 months alone. Musk was constantly bouncing from the Middle East to Europe, then to Asia, on to Latin America, and often back to California before the plane even had time to cool down. Some trips were shockingly short, even for seasoned travelers. On one occasion, he flew the jet between 2 Los Angeles airports just to shave off time from his ground commute. Another time, he traveled nearly 300 miles from Los Angeles to Oakland just to make an appearance at a gaming event. A Tesla spokesperson tried to downplay the spectacle, claiming that he conducted work while airborne, but the sheer scale of travel left people astounded. All this occurred while Tesla continued its push for sustainability, an irony that did not go unnoticed. During the very year his jet was crisscrossing the globe, Musk told millions of people that humanity's reliance on fossil fuels was a reckless experiment. Headlines lit up. Critics pointed out the contradiction. When asked why he hadn't developed an electric airplane yet, Musk explained that it simply wasn't necessary at this stage. His team backed him up, noting something practical. Elon oversees multiple companies and operations across dozens of countries. Until teleportation becomes a reality, they said, a private jet isn't a luxury, it's a critical tool. For Musk, it's as essential as a laptop. The aircraft itself is far from ordinary. The Gulfstream G650ER carries a price tag exceeding $65 million and is considered the crown jewel among private jets. It can fly nearly 7,500 miles without refueling and cruises close to the speed of sound, allowing Musk to zip from California to Texas for a SpaceX launch, then hop to Europe for investor meetings, all without wasting hours on layovers. Inside, the cabin can accommodate up to 18 passengers and includes sleeping quarters, a necessity for someone who might cross 3 continents in a single week. Musk upgraded to this model in 2016 and has since pushed its capabilities to the limit. Flight trackers revealed that his jet took off almost daily at certain points, sometimes for business, other times for personal moments like attending his brother's wedding in Spain or flying to Ireland to visit the set of Game of Thrones with his children. Every flight, every mile reflects not just wealth, but an obsession with efficiency, speed, and the ability to be everywhere that matters, instantly. Musk's life in the sky mirrors the relentless pace he maintains on the ground, running multiple companies while trying to shape the future of humanity. Mark Zuckerberg. Safety and simplicity in the sky. Mark Zuckerberg lives in a way that stands apart from many billionaires. He doesn't flaunt designer clothes or chase flashy brands. Yet, when he travels, everything around him is carefully engineered for security, privacy, and total control. Meta funds it all, and the numbers reveal just how extensive their efforts are. In 2022 alone, the company spent $2.3 million on his private jet flights. That sum was just part of a larger $27.1 million security package, covering everything from air travel to bodyguards and home protection. To Meta, these measures aren't indulgences, they're essential. For flights, Zuckerberg typically charters top-of-the-line jets from Gulfstream or Dassault, all billed as additional compensation. In just 2 months of 2022, his jet completed 28 separate trips, leaving a carbon footprint 17 times the annual average for one person. Over the full year, Meta's total of $2.3 million covered flights that emitted thousands of tons of CO2. And this isn't new. Since 2019, Meta's travel costs for top executives have grown by 55%. Even during the pandemic, the company spent around $1.6 million in 2021 and about $1.8 million in 2020 on Zuckerberg's private flights. Why such spending? Security is the key. Private jets allow his team to control who boards and where they land. No crowds, no paparazzi, no unexpected delays in airport terminals. In Facebook's early days, Zuckerberg flew commercial like anyone else, but fame changed everything. Protests emerged, security threats multiplied. Eventually, flying commercial became too risky for the board to allow. Today, he often travels with a full security team, and each added precaution increases the cost. In 2018, Meta disclosed spending over $2.6 million on his private flights, again citing safety as the reason. Even with all this protection, Zuckerberg's lifestyle is understated compared to other billionaires. He doesn't own a massive yacht or a personal jet emblazoned with his name. What draws attention is the scale of company-funded travel. Reports show Meta spends more on his security and flights than Apple does for Tim Cook or Alphabet for Sundar Pichai. A portion of the expense comes from family travel. Zuckerberg has been seen taking Meta-chartered planes to Kauai and Hawaii, where he owns property, and to Lake Tahoe for vacations. These trips mix work with personal time, but Meta covers the cost under CEO safety protocols. Despite the high-end environment, Zuckerberg keeps things practical. Sources say he prefers planes with fast Wi-Fi so he can work mid-flight. He values power outlets over champagne and typically drinks diet soda. Yet the cabins remain luxurious, plush leather seating, wide tables suitable for meetings, and enough space for him to run Meta from 40,000 feet above the ground. Even simplicity in his case comes wrapped in quiet sophistication. Mukesh Ambani, a life aloft and beyond. Mukesh Ambani navigates the world at a pace all his own, yet the scale of his travel leaves a similarly striking impression. In India, his lifestyle is legendary, and it extends into the skies just as effortlessly as it does across land. A defining example came in 2007, when he gifted his wife, Nita Ambani, a private jet for her birthday. This was no small, sleek aircraft tucked in a hangar. It was a custom Airbus 319, a full-sized airliner transformed into a 5-star flying residence. He reportedly spent around $60 million, including all the luxurious interior customization. The jet carried all the amenities one might expect from a top-tier hotel. It featured an office, multiple lounges, a sky bar, and bathrooms with spacious showers. The master suite included a king-sized bed and an elegant private bathroom. A separate entertainment cabin offered game consoles, high-quality music systems, satellite television, and wireless internet. Rich wood paneling and soft leather seating filled the space, while ambient lighting shifted gently to maintain a warm and calming atmosphere. Though it could hold many passengers, the layout made it feel like a private palace for a small group. At the time, no one else in India owned anything comparable, and when the Mumbai Mirror reported the story, it instantly became a symbol of the Ambani family's reach. Airbus quietly confirmed the sale, while Reliance remained tight-lipped, keeping the aura of mystery intact. Ambani travels with the same intensity that defines the rest of his life. His Mumbai residence, the 27-story Antilia, valued at over $1 billion, includes 3 helipads directly connecting to his jets. This allows him to leave his living room, board a helicopter, and be airborne on a long-haul flight within minutes, bypassing city traffic entirely. Antilia also has 6 floors of car parking and a staff of 600, a testament to how meticulously his movement is planned. When heading to the airport, a convoy of luxury cars and security escorts usually clears the way, unless he chooses to take off directly from one of his helipads. Within India, he often flies long-range jets like the Bombardier Global Express or Falcon 900EX, connecting Mumbai to London or New York effortlessly. Media outlets have tracked his jet tail numbers across continents. Trips might be for business or family, and reports suggest he even booked an entire luxury resort in the Indian Ocean, flying his extended family there on his private jet, illustrating just how easily he scales travel plans. For international events, the Airbus 319 gifted to Nita remains a primary choice. She frequently arrives at launches or functions abroad aboard the jet, stepping onto a welcome carpet amid flashing cameras. Their children also experience the same level of access. Akash Ambani once took school friends on a weekend journey aboard the family jet, instantly making headlines. Rumors have circulated for years about a 100-meter yacht he may have ordered in the late 2000s for roughly $100 million. While details remain scarce, his passion for high-end travel is evident across the board. His fleet includes bulletproof Rolls-Royces and Bentleys, and his road movements almost always involve a massive motorcade due to his ZI Plus security status, the highest protection available to a civilian in India. One illustrative story captures his approach. During an IPL final, when his team, the Mumbai Indians, played, Ambani reportedly flew from Mumbai to Ahmedabad at short notice to watch the match and return the same night. A quick 500-kilometer trip each way, most would take a commercial flight or drive. But for him, time outweighed cost. The jet was ready, the crew on standby, and he made the journey simply because he could, and because he valued those extra hours at home.
Bill Gates, flying for work and impact.
Bill Gates once traveled like any ordinary professional, flying commercial and sitting in coach for Microsoft trips. That feels like a distant memory now. As his responsibilities expanded and his world grew larger, the way he traveled evolved as well. Today, he commands a private fleet that could rival a small airline. Gates owns 2 Gulfstream G650ERs and 2 Bombardier Challenger 350S, and combined, these aircraft are valued at roughly $194 million. They are constantly in motion. In 2022 alone, he took 392 private jet flights, averaging more than 1 flight per day. This inevitably drew attention, especially since Gates speaks passionately about climate change, creating a tension that observers have long highlighted. Despite the criticism, Gates has always been candid about his love of flying. He has called private jets his guilty pleasure, the one luxury he allows himself while donating most of his wealth. His Gulfstream G650ERS carries 16 to 18 passengers and can fly over 7,000 miles non-stop. Both jets have recognizable tail numbers like N887WM and N194WM, shuttling him between his homes near Seattle and Southern California, and then to distant regions where his foundation operates. The smaller Challenger 35 owes seat 10 passengers, ideal for short regional trips or hopping between multiple sites in a single day. He also owns a Eurocopter helicopter and a seaplane for use at his lakefront property, giving him an aircraft suited for every journey, whether across continents or just across town. His flying habits drew fresh scrutiny in early 2023, when a 17-year-old activist tracked emissions for celebrity flyers. The data revealed that Gates's 2022 flights produced around 3,058 tons of carbon dioxide, roughly the annual emissions of nearly 200 average Americans. While not the highest on the list, the sheer number of flights surprised many. When a BBC interviewer asked him in February 2023 whether flying private conflicted with his climate advocacy, Gates answered openly. He explained that his family offsets its carbon footprint by funding Climeworks and purchasing what he called the gold standard of carbon removal. He also reminded the public that he has invested billions into climate innovation, asserting that the positive impact outweighs the emissions generated. Critics may not fully accept that reasoning, but it illustrates the inherent contradictions of private jet travel for billionaire philanthropists. Gates acknowledges it might appear hypocritical, yet he emphasizes the necessity of visiting remote locations where commercial flights are limited. He asks a pointed question: should he stay home rather than see malaria programs in rural Kenya firsthand? His answer is simple. The insights gained on the ground are invaluable, and rapid travel makes them possible. Beyond the debate lies the reality of his aerial lifestyle. His jets double as flying offices. Gates holds meetings with foundation staff mid-flight and rests in full-length beds between destinations. One Gulfstream reportedly features a custom interior with wide sofas, a conference table, and advanced entertainment technology, though it's easy to imagine him reviewing data more often than watching films. These planes allow him to compress the globe, traveling from Seattle to Washington, D.C. for a morning meeting, on to Ottawa for lunch, and onward to rural Senegal by evening to check on a vaccine project. Commercial flights could never match that pace, and for Gates, speed is essential when his responsibilities span continents. And that's how the richest CEOs travel in style, turning the world into their personal playground. If you enjoyed this peek into their incredible journeys, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more amazing insights. Don't forget to tap the bell icon so you never miss our next video. Stay tuned, because we'll keep bringing you the most jaw-dropping stories from the world of wealth, luxury, and power.